What's up, everyone? Welcome to Outside Interference with me, the RRBG, being joined once again by the evil genius himself, Mr. Eddie Furth. How are you, brother?
Good to see you, man. What have we said? Every time we go to record a podcast, we put it off another day because something happens constantly. We thought we would just Elimination Chamber, The Rock coming out doing his promo, then he posts a video, then he shows up on SmackDown. We could podcast all day, every day, and not be caught up on everything that's going on.
It's like that's what the big guys do, right? That's what the Busted Open Radio does. They go every day, and Sam Roberts, I applaud those gentlemen. And look, hey, LaGreca, is that his Dave LaGreca?
Yeah.
Greca? Sorry. LaGreca, sorry. He got himself in a video. He's now part of he's part of the promo video.
Yeah.
So, hey, good job. You're part of the angle now.
Yeah, I'm over here wearing my flowered shirt just like The Rock. That's how I'm going to get it. I'm not trashing the biggest movie star in the world. No, not once. Are you kidding me? He's my people's champ.
Oh, man. So, yes, there is a lot going on. Might as well just jump into it. The Rock.
Where do you want to start? Where do we start? Yeah.
I want to first preface with huge Rock fan, obviously. I grew up doing the eyebrow. I can still kind of do it, sort of. I don't know. I sent you a picture of my youth where I just looked like the debuting Rocky Maivia was from Cuba instead.
You're an alternate Spider-Verse Rock.
Right, yeah. I had the suit and everything, like weird, bad picture. But I'm a huge Rock guy. Love it. And I love that he's back, and I love that he's a heel. Very, very excited. However, I can't just let my fandom ignore how shaky that promo was on SmackDown.
Which one? The first one when he came out in the Versace vest, or last night when he came out in the Versace shirt?
The shirt. The first one with the vest was great. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Great promo. Awesome. His IG video, which if you haven't seen, it's like 20 minutes long. Fantastic.
22 minutes. What did I tell you? That is a full sitcom episode. That's an episode of Friends without commercials of one dude talking to camera, just monologuing, soliloquy. I don't know the difference between the two. Some Shakespeare scholar will correct me on this, but he's talking to camera alone, nothing else. He cuts to some footage, 22 minutes of just him talking, what seems like off the cuff, right?
Yeah. Which was great. Amazing. I loved it. And honestly, I told you, like, I'm a Cody guy, so this whole time I've been rooting for Cody. But he got me. He got me with that video at the end with like, a man to man, fuck your story. I popped so hard at that because, we're not used to seeing The Rock say fuck. The dude's in Disney movies. You know what I mean? He was potentially running for president like a year ago. We were like having that conversation. Now he's telling Cody to go fuck his story. And I liked even the little, the punctuation mark at the end of the video where he said it again, but kind of looking like he was whispering at him. He had his head turned and he's like, fuck your story. And he just walked off. It's like, that was magical. But that promo on SmackDown last night was shaky as fuck to me. He maybe was nervous. I mean, I assume he doesn't really get that nervous anymore, but he seemed nervous. He was repeating a lot of the same lines and like stumbling over the crackhead Karens and the meth head Marys, which amazing, but he stumbled over a little bit of it. I don't know if it's, he's just been away too long. You know what I mean? Maybe he's still like, he's not on the dime like he used to be because it's been so long. Like the first promo, he was great. And this video, like I said, great too. But this one felt like a little bit of a misfire. However, my fandom does want to say that he is such a professional that this is all intentional. That this is shakiness. And also noticed when he did the finger, he did the L again, but he kind of like, he emphasized it. I don't know if you were, I was paying attention to the finger, and he started off kind of like this, and then he went broom really slowly, turned it into the L, and then at the end kind of closed his finger again.
Yep.
Something's going on. And somebody grabbed a picture of Paul Heyman looking at him when he did the finger thing.
Yeah.
Something's going on. So, yeah, maybe he is the best actor of all time, and that shakiness was intentional. But to me, it felt like a little bit of a stumble. I don't know. What did you think?
First off, I've been loving, we talk about Sam Roberts' podcast. I've been listening to Sam Roberts every time he drops a podcast, because I feel very much like what he expresses is a lot of what I feel as a fan and how I approach watching it, because we get the behind the scenes stuff, but I also I want to watch the actual show as if it were a TV show.
Yeah.
I love his line, everything matters. Everything that The Rock did, everything that Roman did, everything. I completely understand what you're saying, in that I think that being on a live microphone in an arena is not something that's easy if it's not something you practice regularly. Mm-hmm. So anything that we've seen from The Rock since he's been back, even going back to the Austin Theory and Jinder Mahal promos he cut, it's a different beast when you're in there and you're not as right. I did a lot of stage theater back in Connecticut, New York. And then when you transition to being on camera, you have to change your whole style to acting, because the camera, like right now, the camera's right here on me. I can't do all my stage stuff and everything. Then when you move and you start to calm it down and you focus your attention here, that one-on-one, but then you have to go back to the arena or being on a microphone, of course there's a transition for me where he's playing a heel for the first time in forever. He's on camera in an arena for the first time in a while. Like, that stuff does not, to me, overshadow or diminish how great this story and this television is. The television, like everything, all of that stuff with Roman, because here's my thing. You've known me for a while. I'm a Roman Reigns guy. Mm-hmm. I acknowledge my tribal chief.
Hey, me too.
And when we get to where we go with what we think might happen with this, I want to say that not only is The Rock crushing, look, we have killers out there. If this were a stand-up comedy lineup, you're talking about like Chappelle, Rock, Hart, Wanda Sykes. You're talking Leslie Jones, Sarah Silverman. You're talking every killer who just gets on and murders. Cody, Rollins, Roman, Rock. They are all crushing it. But to me, Roman Reigns, and this is where I think I understand where we might be going, but Roman Reigns is still outperforming everybody in a way that is nuanced and subtle and elevating everyone around him. So the stuff The Rock is doing is very important and very crucial and right in your face. He's stumbling here and there, yeah, but that is a pro on the mic with his character, and he is... This is where, when we were talking last podcast, do you think this is really... Do you think this was planned, or do you think they changed mid-pace? Because here we're talking, like, let's say they switched this story up. What was Cody going to do before he was involved with Roman and Rock? But to me, to finalize, Rock is crushing it. Everything he's doing, just so interesting, because you know there's just levels and nuances and subtle. We're going all over. This is so exciting.
No, it is. It is.
Come on, man. I'm too hyped. When he goes, I've made wrestling popular for the first time in forever, and Roman is just standing. He goes, no, what are you talking about? I made it relevant. Yeah. I'm relevant. I'm the reason we're here. You're going to come in now?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, there's a lot of nuances. Maybe I'm being extra picky for I don't even know for what reason. Just to be picky, because like I don't like to give all of myself to something like that unless I know it's just flawless. And if I detect a little thing, I'm not taken out per se, or I'm not going to say that The Rock isn't crushing. He's fucking crushing it. But but I also want to keep him sort of humble too, because I don't want people to think like, hey, I crushed it out there. If it was a misstep, if it was intentional, great. You know what else I want to know? I want to know what's in the back of that Versace shirt.
Yeah, they did. I was thinking the same thing. They definitely wanted to show what was on the back of that shirt.
They went right in for a second and pulled out.
What Greek statue? What
Is
symbol?
that some kind of betrayal story? What are we looking at? Because I feel like it's coming. I do feel the betrayal.
I completely understand what you're saying. The Rock is not as smooth, and this, this is his first time out in a live crowd in these settings in a while, where he's doing something else. He's absolutely still finding the groove. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be here for a while doing this. I think what he said on his video is right. He is absolutely on the premiere episode of Raw on Netflix, and I don't think it's a pop-in. I think we are continually building. So I'm giving him space to get back in the flow. But you're right. He's not in the groove. This is not LeBron in playoff form. This is LeBron at the beginning of the season, figuring out where to throw the ball to his teammates. He's in shape and he's good, but his passes aren't as crisp. They're just feeling the offense out, figure out where to throw the ball when. He's going to get there. But yeah,
it's cool. He needs to bomb a few times. It's okay. It's not that last night was a bomb. It's not.
No.
But I'm just saying he needs to. I'm of the comedian mentality now of like, let him take his time and let him work it out. I'm not hating on him at all, by the way. But I wrote down while you were talking. You mentioned stars, and then you mentioned Leslie Jones. I'm like, well, much like her, he keeps running the light. Because apparently he apparently ran the light, and there's a lot of on their feet again, which could be good, could be bad, but they're on their feet because they have to let Rock talk, and if somebody's entire segment gets cut, then oh well, somebody got bumped, Did
they have to cut segments?
Yeah. I read about that there was that segment ran too long. they had to cut something. There's just a lot.
Look, as somebody who works in entertainment, let me talk to you he didn't go too long because it all worked and it was amazing. That was amazing television. I was out at a show last night. I watched the clip the full segment they posted on YouTube today, over 35 minutes as a segment. So you're talking about nearly 45, 50 minutes of television time taken to this. Biggest star in the world, biggest story. Everything they did made sense. They hit their marks. Maybe he goes a little long in that middle segment, but Roman's opening was strong. Rock comes out, he does his thing, and then that exchange at the end. It's only too long if it's not working, but it's working. So that thing, they hit the time mark just fine. Whoever was waiting didn't need to go out.
Yeah, I think this is where I'm leaning into right now, because we got the tag match, by the way, that
they accept it.
Well, that's true. If they accept it, that's true. They could not accept it. I'll tell you what.
Nope.
I can tell you what we're getting feels to me like Cody takes the belt at Mania, and we spin off into Rock and Roman over the betrayal, or just Roman starting to lose it, because you kind of showed a little hint of that last night when he's repeated himself 3 times, like, you need to acknowledge me or I'm out. And it seems like he's losing it because like he feels that the Rock is taking some of that light away from him, some of the attention away from him. So maybe eventual Roman snaps, turns on the Rock, or Rock fucks up something in the match that costs the belt to Cody, intentional or unintentional. Like he just, you know what I mean? Like he helps Cody and it's a betrayal, or he's just a little slow or a little rusty because he hasn't had a full match in a while and costs Roman the belt.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it makes Roman snap and like, you cost me the belt. And now we have to do tribal combat and fucking, do the whole thing they did. Who was it that he did that with? It was Jay, right?
Yeah. It was him and Jay for the, as you like to call them, the Chili Peppers. The Red Hot Chili Peppers match.
Yes.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers necklace.
I like what he pitched to The Rock with the Bloodline Rules match. Do you think we'll get that?
Well, in what sense? The Bloodline Rules.
You didn't see, he said if you accept, if you win, Bloodline is barred from ringside at Mania. If you lose, the match's bloodline rules. And he explains that Solo could maybe sing the national anthem. Big pop, by the way, and a Solo chant right
Look
after.
at Solo trying so hard not to break. He smacked himself in the face. Oh, you could tell they all wanted to turn on Solo just to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that was
where
fun.
I felt The Rock's promo also excelled. That was to me where we finally saw the real Rock. Like not just the characters he's playing, but the real him being very natural in the moment. If he were to break script there, he wanted to fuck with Solo, and that would have been when he really kind of went off. And come on, Solo, you can say, let me hear it. Oh, say, can you see, Solo? Like that's where he really wanted to deviate from the script. That was very real to me. He was very real in that moment.
That's the other point I wanted to bring up was, he needs to let loose. I feel like I feel maybe that nervousness that I'm detecting is him not wanting to fuck up and scripting things because he's not used to being on the flow. You know what I mean? He hasn't been freestyling in a while, so he's got to get back into that flow. And he keeps trying to get his shit in, and it doesn't even make sense sometimes. Like the last thing he said, finally, your lives have meaning. I love that line. I'm like, great. It's an adjustment to the old finally. It's new. It's fresh. We haven't heard him say that before. That's a shirt. Finally, your life has meaning. The Rock. You know what I mean? But then he says, finally your lives have meaning, Glendale. And then finally, The Rock has come back. Or what? Like, he has to get the full trademark quote in. Even if he said finally, right before, he's got to say finally again because, hey, just let it go. Just be yourself. Be loose. You know what I mean? I think that's what needs to happen. He needs to let go of all the pretensions and all the worry because now he's a fucking director of the board. You know what I mean? He's got to make sure.
Yes, but if we're all Cody fans here, which I have turned, I'm a Cody guy now too. I don't think he should win the belt at Mania. We'll get there. But let's quote Cody Rhodes and his song, which I have been listening to on repeat. Try to give them what they came to see. That is the job.
It's the hits.
And
I know.
This twist on The Rock's stuff is amazing. So you're getting both because look, there is part of him that seems to be also riding that fine line of getting booed, but also, and I am part of the contingent. I was not unhappy to see Roman and Rock I did not think this was supposed to be the storyline, and this was not the story I would have voted for to see or wanted to see come to fruition. I think they're doing fantastic with it, but I thought it should have just been Rock and Roman for the belt. Roman goes over in a great match. You build that, and then you go on to the next thing. But if that's the case, then he is riding a fine line of face and heel, of good and bad, of some people, right? I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. We are, especially like you and I as wrestling fans and people who make stuff, we're connoisseurs. So we're like people who are wine connoisseurs. We are the sommeliers who can tell the difference between wines, trying to sell wine to people who just want to get drunk.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who just want to get drunk on The Rock. And so now you're serving all masters when you break that line and then give them the line as well. Give the people, most people are just like, it's the fucking Rock. Let's go. It's the Rock.
Yeah.
You know his new catchphrase that I love? Are you sure you want to boo The Rock?
Yeah.
If that's the start to every one of his promos, like Roman's got the acknowledge me, Cody's got what do you want to talk about? I guess Seth laughs. I don't know what his thing. I guess that's. Yeah. But Rock comes out and he gets. Are you sure you want to boo The Rock? Like he gives them the chance because we know he's getting cheered in Memphis. He'll get a big pop.
Yeah. I'm hoping also that it's not him being too on the nose with the teases of the turn. Like, are you sure you want to boo me? Because guess you'll see what's going to happen at Mania. You know what I mean? Like that.
But I think it's more like if you boo me, this is your chance, right? I read it like this. When he said it, he goes, "Boo me? Are you sure you want to boo me? Because if you boo me, I'm going to do the thing. But if you don't boo me, I'll give you The Rock. I'll give you the smile. I'll give you the eyebrow. You cheer me. I'll give you the good guy that you came to see. But if you boo me, you're the ones that are unleashing this. I came to be a good guy. you're the ones that did that. You sure you want to boo The Rock? Go ahead, boo The Rock. Boo. All right, you candy ass motherfuckers. All right, you Rudy Poos. All right, you trailer park trash.
That
you crystal meth Karens.
That line about number one. That's his other new thing. He states he does the city pop, but he finds a crazy fact about the number one city of cocaine usage.
Yeah. and everyone's like, yeah, we do a lot of coke, don't we? Wow, that one turned on them. He was like, I'll get you. And they were like, no, we're very proud of our
of course.
Our cocaine
Well, he
usage.
did mention, he's like, you might be even proud of this fact. He mentions that, and they were very proud. And then just go smoke crack. And at the end, like, he fucking throws.
But dude, I was watching that this morning. When he starts to do his go home line, and he's got the mic, and Roman puts his hand on, I audibly gasped. I went, I beg your pardon. Oh my!
It triggered a holy shit
stop
chant.
The Rock. Oh my God!
It started a holy shit chant, which they did not censor this time, thankfully. Oh my goodness, I can't stand it when they mute the freaking shits. Like, holy! It's like, come on. Just mute the whole thing at that point. I don't need the holy part. But anyway, yes, when he pauses, he stops him. He takes even when he took the glasses off, the crowd went, "Oh shit!" Like, it's coming.
Somebody got called to the principal's office. Ooh.
So how do you feel about the delivery of the "I acknowledge you as my tribal chief"? Do you think that seemed genuine? I know then he followed it up with, "I'll do anything for my family." So it kind of felt like, I'll say it just to get, because he's my cousin, I'll say it,
I think that is full Hollywood politics, Rock, right? In Hollywood, we say yes and shake hands and support people publicly that at times we want to. It's like supporting your boss publicly when you're like, yep, he's in charge. I follow what the boss says and I do whatever is needed to get the job done. He's publicly doing that, but he's not. This is the setup, of course, of the turn. This is also why I'm going to say I don't think this is a Mania story, and I don't think in fact, after watching all of this promo, I'm more convinced than ever that Roman is going to keep that belt at WrestleMania. This is a longer term story for several reasons, and part of it is that this turn is not going to be this immediate thing, like. Because The Rock both meant and did not mean what he said. He meant it of like, oh, you're going to call me out publicly to support you? Of course I'm going to support you. Your family, you need to be acknowledged. I'll acknowledge you. You're missing the point. That's not what this is about. But if you need that, I'll give it to you because now you're missing the point. I'm the biggest star in the world. You want me to? Fine. It's one of those, I believe that the person who gives is actually the more powerful person in the room. That if you're the Frank Underwood of the room and you come in and you knock everybody over and you push everything out of the way, you're not really powerful. You're really powerful if you can stand back and go, all right, I acknowledge you. Fine. It's kind of one of those real power moves of like, I'm still The Rock. I'll say what I need in front of everyone. You got the rub, but when push comes to shove, I will be the one who goes over time. I'll be the one who decides what happens. I'm the one who talked for 25 minutes and you're not. It's exactly how that moment's supposed to be played. It was genuine because it wasn't genuine. Of course I support my family in front of everyone, but don't you ever talk to me like that again, you motherfucker.
Yeah. And even the delivery from Roman was very subtle, very, like, the first thing he says was very low on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am going to need one thing from you. Yeah. Kind of, like, I'm going to need you to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it felt kind of like,
because
I hate to ask, but you're gonna have to pay me back for those $20 I lent you.
here's why. Because in the storyline, but in reality, The Rock is dominating this story, which is why the Roman Reigns. Here's my theory. Roman Reigns isn't going to lose the belt because this story right now is not about Roman and Cody. If you're telling a true story about Roman and Cody, this is not the story. So Cody can't beat Roman because what you would be promoting and building is watching Roman and Cody wrestle and Cody beating Roman. And right now, that's not where the focus and attention is. So they do this as a way because in reality, The Rock is overbearing in the storyline. So Roman is like, let's not forget who the champion is, who's been drawing these. Sell out now. I've been selling this place out for years. We've had the biggest numbers in the history of the company. Triple H, Paul Levesque goes out after every pay-per-view and tells you how much we've been selling. The biggest pay-per-view, the biggest live event, biggest house, most sales, most viewership. Don't tell me you got to come in. I'm the guy. So in real storyline and in real life, the way they're building this is not building to Cody beating Roman because it's too muddled and messy. So all of the things that I think might happen here are all in service of this is not the moment for Cody and Roman, because otherwise you'd clear all this out of the way. You wouldn't need any of this other stuff. If this is about Cody beating Roman Reigns one-on-one, you don't need the tag match. You don't need Rollins. You don't need the bloodline. All this other stuff is ancillary. There's a much better, easier way to get to that than what they're doing.
Well, let me give a rebuttal.
Yeah.
Allow me to take you on a journey.
Oh, here we go.
The Rock attempted to take over the DC universe, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Change the power structure of the DC universe. It'll never be the same.
Right.
And it wasn't.
But
they recast Henry Cavill.
But what is more successful than DCU? MCU, yes?
Yeah.
What is their structure? They have individual movies per phase where you got Iron Man, you got the Hulk, you got Thor, and then you have the Avengers movie, WrestleMania. So, what if the story may not be Cody versus Roman, but what if we're getting Cody's story and Roman's story and The Rock's story, 3 separate movies that culminate at WrestleMania? And the story might end up like Avengers, twists and turns, people die that you weren't expecting to be dead, people become champions that you weren't expecting to become champions, and then it spins off into phase 2, where now you got Civil War with Captain America versus Iron Man. It's not for the sake of the universe or anything major like that. It's just a little ground battle between a couple heroes. I think that's how you spin it off. You got Cody at Mania. Cody wins the belt. He finishes his story, or whatever, the chapter of his story, this chapter that involves the Rock and Roman. Rock and Roman now spin off into their bloodline story and feud together, make a huge thing. The outcome of that phase is whoever comes out of that on top, if it's The Rock, he's going after Cody now for the belt. Because he wants to now establish that he is the biggest thing in the world, because he just took out the tribal chief, became high chief Dwayne Maivia, and and has his belt, and that's now another part. So I think intelligently, The Rock and Triple H are probably maybe mimicking some of the most successful movie franchises in the world. Whether you like the Marvel movies or not, they make a shit ton of money. So they're very successful. You follow that formula where you're building individual stories. And this is, obviously the case with everybody else on the roster. You've got, in between all this chaos, you're getting these amazing vignettes from Santos Escobar and the LWO and the whole thing. It's all little stories. And we culminate it at WrestleMania. That's the big Avengers movie. And I think that's how we can justify Cody winning a belt and then spinning off into a very epic cinema story. They love the wrestling fans love to call it cinema. We get cinema from The Rock and Roman for a while with the bloodline. Here's the other thing. Tama Tonga's on his way to WWE. Do we throw him in the story? Is he part of the bloodline? I know he's related somewhat, not blood maybe, but like through Haku, the cousins and all that stuff. So do we throw him in there?
Is that Jacob Fatu?
No, there's another one, Jacob Fatu. I don't know if he's a free agent or if he signed with anybody. I know TNA and MLW are going around trying to sign everybody, but there's another one. So do we keep the bloodline story going for years by spinning it off into this personal thing about family and blood, and it doesn't need championship gold? We need to figure out who the fucking tribal chief is. Who is sitting at the head of the table? Figure out your inner turmoil. We see, because of our inner turmoil, we lost our gold. Figure out your bullshit. Go after the back. Go get your gold back now and all that stuff. I think that's to me, that would be a way interesting story to follow, because it extends it out for years and years and years. Plus, we just signed Netflix for what, 5 years? We need to have they have to have a 5-year plan for Netflix. You know what I mean? They have to be like, this is what we're going to do for the next 5 years story-wise. So that was part of the IG video with The Rock. He's like, you think, which amazing, his little promo against Rollins.
Dude, that video is that video is so good. It's 22 minutes to camera. That's just it. You know, everyone else on TikTok is doing 60 seconds to camera. You're right there. They're putting their face in the corner over another video of somebody else slipping and falling or making a bad recipe. And The Rock is just right down the barrel of the camera.
Yeah.
Soliloquy monologue. I think you're probably more right. I think I tend to try to overcomplicate things or try to look, the evil genius is always trying to spin one more wheel and get ahead of somebody and figure out the deeper, more complex version of something where you're like, keep it simple, stupid. Right? Like your version is look, I'm overcomplicating. You're right. I'm also trying to justify Cody not winning the belt right now because I think there are deeper. I think him winning at Madison Square Garden is important. I think Roman keeping the belt a certain number of days is also important, but it doesn't line up with what they actually have in front of them, which is the perfect opportunity where everyone is going to pop big for Cody to win. It'll feel right. It still leaves me with a lot of questions I think that The Rock and Rollins have an obvious match in them. In fact, I feel like this is one of my questions, so all of this and The Rock's not going to go one-on-one with anyone at WrestleMania? That feels a little weird to me because it did feel like that's what he came in for. And if you got him this tag match, that's soft. That's not soft, not Enzo soft, but it's softer than what you get with the strength of his threat to Rollins. I'll take that belt from you. That's what I read. He's taking the world title. I think this is a lot. Look, I both think The Rock is going to end up with the world title at Mania and Damian Priest is cashing in on Rollins on Monday Night Raw. So I'm not right. I have too many theories floating right now. But one of them being that you have a tag match Saturday night with stakes. That means that The Rock and Roman have to win that match so you can, if you have Cody win the second night, he'd have to lose the first night. If they win the first night, he loses the second night. And that's just basic, but you can go very complex with this. So it doesn't have to be that way, but you have Roman and Rock win. So it really looks like he's on the ropes, but I think you have him lose. I think you have the bloodline. I think it's that dusty finish. It's going to look like he won, but the wrong way, and they're going to reverse it. I think Jacob Fatu might come out. I think there's a way to say the bloodline can't get involved and a new member comes out. He doesn't get inducted into the bloodline until the next week. I think everything you're saying about The Rock and Roman spinning off is absolutely right. I don't think it's 3 weeks from now.
No,
I don't think they're breaking up next month. And I think the stuff at Mania, you can build it. Roman, you're now only champ because I'm letting you be champ. What are you talking about, Rock? I'm the one who set the record. Now it's heightening even more. I think there's more to the story if Cody loses right now, especially if he cheats, especially if it's one of those, I used the chair and I got disqualified. I let them get the best of me. I need to stay more focused. This is my chance. I keep getting so close. I can taste it. I got to win. You got to. I got lost there.
No. I hear you. I hear you're passionate about the chase for Cody.
Yeah.
I feel like, just like back in the day when we had Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah.
You wanted Stone Cold to chase, but it also felt really good when he was the champ. You know what I mean? And he was the one on top. So I don't know. I hear what you're saying, though. I think
Cody and Rock have to wrestle each other, but I think it's an extension of this. This is what I think, right? I can get back to my point. Yeah. I think Cody loses because of all this shit with The Rock. They've built up Cody and Rock now the way they built up Rock and Rollins, and it's overshadowing the Roman and Cody of it all. So what happens is Cody doesn't win here because they didn't make it as simple as it needed to be. So Cody loses. The next thing he does, he has to topple The Rock at SummerSlam. You lost, Cody. You've lost 2 WrestleManias in a row. You want another title shot? You got to go through me. Cody's like, fine. You're the one who got in my way. you're the one who cost me to lose. I'll take you out, Rock. So Cody gets the pin over The Rock as well. So now Cody's beating everybody on the way to Roman and finally topples Roman and Madison Square Garden on Christmas, the day after Christmas this year. Because I think The Rock and Cody has to happen, but not after Rock and Roman split. That's still part of the bloodline versus the Rhodes family, all 2.5 of them.
That's true. That's true. I mean, there's different ways it can go. Honestly, I don't want to see Rock and Rollins at Mania. Like if they decline the tag match and then they spin it off into, Rock and Rollins. I don't know. I don't really think I want that. Even though he keeps calling him the clown shoes, clown emoji, whatever, walking clown emoji. I mean, it'd be cool to see the bloodline holding all the gold again.
I want somehow Rock and Rollins to be in night 2 and Rock I want in the way of a badass heel group of like just bullshit. If Roman walks away Universal Champ and Rock walks away World Champ from Mania, that's going to be that's tough. They show up the next week on SmackDown holding all the gold saying, "We told you." Like, you questioned the bloodline. We always have a plan. This is it's too strong. That builds another level to Cody. I think it is building to Cody beating them.
But how long until Cody starts losing steam with like if he keeps losing the opportunities, it's hard to believe in a loser. Yeah, I mean, if you keep losing your shots, it's going to be like, well, fuck, man. You had your chance.
Not if Solo cost you at 39 and The Rock and Jacob Fatu cost you at 40, and at SummerSlam you finally beat The Rock by the skin of your teeth. I hear you, but I can only speak from my end, which is we've known. I was not as strong a Cody fan when he first came back, and I have built into a Cody fan. Whereas I also was the one who was like, I don't want to see Cody and Roman again. I want to see Roman and Rock. I wanted to see that match this year. So now with what we have, I think there's actually a great way to build Cody and make him even stronger, because the desire to see him win is heightening. And that's one of those, if you don't give the fans exactly what they want the minute they think they want it, you give them the opportunity to want it more. It's my old theory. You can want a brand new car until you buy that new car, and you can no longer desire for it because you actually have it now. The chase is always better than getting that thing. So in this instance, if you can build it and you go, oh, he got screwed, he got dusty finished at Mania, or The Rock cost him, or somebody cheated again, and he comes out because Cody's great at going, guys, I messed up. I got to keep my eye on the prize. I lost. I'm coming back strong. There's a way to continue to build that character and go, no, I'm not done. They screwed me. They've interfered. I can come back.
I think this is the connoisseur speaking in you, though.
Probably.
Honestly,
Again, I want Roman. I grew up on Hogan. I want Roman to put his name above Hogan. I want Cody to win at Madison Square Garden. I want these things to feel bigger in this other, because I also think they're telling longer term stories. That's why I don't think the Roman Rock turn is coming. I think we're just getting teases of it. We saw Jay and Roman tease their turn for about a year before Jay turned on him. Like, I think we are talking longer term storytelling, which means we don't have to rush to any of it, which means that they come out strong. They look strong, they feel strong, and then they fall apart. If they fall apart at Mania, we're talking about a month. They were together for a month, and then they fell apart.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just trying to justify what I want.
I know. We'll see what happens.
Cody's walking away with the belt. I'm going to be...
We got three more. We got three more. No, wait, 2 more appearances from The Rock on SmackDown leading into Mania. We got
Punk on Raw.
Punk is coming to Raw.
Did you hear they announced? I read somewhere. I think it was Sportskeeda. So who knows? Punk is supposed to be at the last Raw before WrestleMania.
I don't miss him at all. So I kind of don't want him in this story right now. Like the whole thing was supposed to be Punk and Rollins into Mania, but I find McIntyre and Rollins way more interesting. Yeah, you know what I mean? What McIntyre has been able to do with the Punk injury and turn it in his favor, making it all about him being the one that did it and saving WrestleMania. I think that's fantastic. That's another reason I don't want to see Rock and Rollins. I want to see Drew walk away with that belt. I want to see Drew win the belt and then Priest cash in on him at Mania. That's what I want to see, because then you get a pissed off McIntyre, like he got his moment and it was taken from him too, like similar to Dusty. Like I think it's a good. Just leave that alone.
Yeah.
As much as I want to see Rollins and Rock go at it, I don't know, man. I feel like there's also the Jey Uso solo run isn't really doing all that much. He's lost his opportunity against the IC title. We got to figure out a way to get two bloodlines. We get the NWO thing going.
What is happening with Jay? Because Jay and Jimmy were supposed to be it, but they have made no mention since he cost him that IC title. Is he getting folded back into the bloodline? Did The Rock say we're getting Jimmy back? We're getting Jimmy and Jay back together?
Maybe, or like I was trying to say, like Rock forms his own bloodline, and we got Roman, Solo, Heyman, Jacob Fatu, you got and Jimmy, and you got Rock, Jay, Tama Tonga. I don't know. You make two bloodlines. You make a bloodline Civil War story going.
And Nia Jax. Don't forget
Nia Jax. Naomi and Nia Jax. You throw them in there. Give them a match together. Face each other.
Becky turns on her husband and joins the bloodline.
Oh my God.
I'm the man.
Speaking of that, let's talk. We got some more SmackDowns before this story continues with The Rock and Roman and everything. But there's other stuff happening. And we mentioned earlier the Elimination Chamber happened, which, by the way, was an incredibly predictable pay-per-view. That's why I didn't even bother with I didn't post predictions. I didn't really do a recap. It just seemed like filler. Like, hey, look, we're going to Australia. We're going to put over Rhea. That was the whole intention behind the entire pay-per-view. And it happened. Rhea beat Nia Jax. And how am I supposed to feel that Becky has a chance? If Nia Jax, the unstoppable Nia Jax, couldn't do it, how could Becky have a chance?
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that. These they've been doing really interesting stuff with these premium live events that are based in hometowns. It's a very old school wrestling trick. Like, what did they do? They went to Rhea Ripley's hometown where they knew she was going to be a babyface. They had her have a babyface match where she came from. She was under the whole time. She had to fight back from underneath and overcome the giant. That's like pro wrestling 1975 playbook 101. And it worked beautifully. The way Sami Zayn was in Montreal and everyone thought he was going to beat Roman Reigns, or the way they went to Puerto Rico and Bad Bunny and Damian Priest headline. Like, that's a very beautiful market specific way to advertise an event. I don't read too much into the Nia Jax of it all, because that's exactly what that match was supposed to be. And you couldn't have played it any other way. But Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, that's the one match left on the table that Rhea hasn't had. And I think the story is going to be Becky seems close a bunch of times, but can't put Rhea Ripley away. And Rhea Ripley walks out with the title, becomes super dominant in that division as like the number one wrestler in the women's division. And Becky has this sort of moment of, I get lost to find myself again. That's a good reinvention moment of, I came so close. What do I need to do? Now it's that, climb the mountain again. What do I need to do to start from the bottom and get to the top? I would say early predictor, Becky Lynch wins the Royal Rumble next year. So then the next year's story is building to, oh my God, I've lost everything. What do I do now? And you build. And then it's her and whoever has the title belt at that time that makes sense. Maybe that's the four horsewomen of the apocalypse. Sasha, Becky, Bayley, and Charlotte finally have a four-way for a title.
You know what I want? I want Rhea Ripley to beat Bruno Sammartino's record.
Ooh, a 12-year title reign. Oh, that mommy's on top.
Forever.
Mommy's always on top.
And she beats Sammartino's record, and she just puts the belt down, and she goes, peace. It goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's it. You did it. Because everybody expects Roman to do it, but nobody expects a woman to do it. And that would be the women's revolution right there.
Interesting. We should definitely. You make a great point. We should look up what Fabulous Moolah's title reign was, because it was something similar with the WWF title back in the day. I bet it'd be great to put a name above Fabulous Moolah.
Yeah, she has a shady past.
Yeah,
we can
that's a great.
about.
That's a great way to supplant something and acknowledge that somebody was there, and now you have a new name there who represents everything that the company and a champion and a wrestler is now. You got something on
Moolah had the longest reign, holding it
20
for
years,
10 years.
Yo, isn't it wild that we were talking about a television show and a sports entertainment product where you had a champion for 10 years and 11 years respectively? Like, good Lord, somebody was champion for 11 years and we're worried that Roman's got the belt too long. Come on, man.
Yeah. So okay, so it's 10 years in the WWE. Mm-hmm. But 28 years in other promotions. Like she had, it's insane. But, and as good as she was or San Martino was, like that also has to do with the fact that back then they didn't really have many like people that could potentially do that.
The draw then is here comes see the champion, see if they, and that's the old Ric Flair model. Ric Flair was champ, and as a heel champ, you'd go wherever you were, you'd make it look like the baby face in your territory was about to beat the champ, and then champ wins.
That's something I'd also like to see Rhea do, and I'd like, Triple H has talked about territories coming back and all that. I would love to see them allow Rhea to go to other companies, maybe not AEW, but like, a TNA. Let her go to TNA and crush over there, let her and defend her title there. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. But I honestly think I don't want to see Rhea ever lose the title. But also that it's a catch-22. Like, then who beats her or how does it end? What they did to Asuka for like unbeatable in NXT, and then they have her lose when she goes to the main roster and she completely lost steam. Like she was right at that moment between NXT and WWE. She was the hottest she was ever been. And people were all behind her. And now there are people still behind her, but she's lost that mystique. She's not this like unstoppable crazy killer. She's just Asuka, and she dances, and it's weird. I don't want that to happen to Rhea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's also, like I said earlier, the Santos Escobar vignettes have been really cool. I was talking to him a few months back, and he was in town filming some stuff, and he said, "Oh yeah, we're filming," and I thought maybe he was filming for like a movie, but I'm thinking because of the quality of these vignettes, I think they were filming them here somewhere in some kind of movie studio or something like that.
Nice.
Because they look really good. I do got to say, I hate Rey Mysterio's new mask.
The helmet?
Oh, God, dude. Stop. Like, what?
What was that? Falcon Man? What was that? What was that terrible 80s movie? Falcon?
I don't even know. But
Mr. Condor? The Condor Man?
The Condor Man. And with the gray goatee, like I dig the gray goatee because it shows like he's showing his age, and he's it's like, hey, look, I'm grayed out. It's fine.
He looks like he 3D printed that at home.
Dude, he just once.
Finished putting the acetone on the outside, put it on, magnet together. Give me
terrible.
Some extra cheekbones. Can you give me some filler around the cheekbones?
It's terrible, dude. He used it once before. I don't know if it was Mania or what, but he had a similar mask once before, and I hated it then too. Please stop it. Just give me the lucha masks. And I get it. Maybe it's an ode to Muda, because Muda would do something like that sometimes.
Yeah.
He would have some of the thicker 3D printed looking masks, but no. But how do you... I feel like there's so much potential in that Santos Rey story with the Legado and the LWO, and they're trying to work it out, but it's not clicking with the audience. What do you think that story needs to get bloodline levels of crowd cheering? Because, I mean, the performances are great. The story is intriguing. The in-ring action is great. So what's that missing seasoning? Is it sazon completo? Like, what... Which seasoning are we missing in that pot to get it more respect from the fans, do you think?
I would say, like, my honest response, I don't think it's missing anything. I think it's geared towards getting Santos over and moving him up to the next level. And in that instance, we're not missing anything. We're just building something so that one guy comes out to star at the end. It's focusing on Ray versus Santos in some form or fashion. So you're building, building, building so that at Mania something happens and then it builds and builds. And at SummerSlam, it's one-on-one. He goes over big time and it's some sort of big moment where you've created that new star. To me, that is a mid-card elevating storyline, which means you're never going to get it to be, you're not, because the goal isn't to make it a main event storyline. The goal is to take one person and move them up towards the main event, which is a different story that you're telling. So you're never trying to gear the heat and the tension and the build all the way up to that. But what is it missing? Something more personal, right? What is missing is each one of them, not just a personal issue with each other, but that sort of, why are we fighting? What are we fighting for? We all know in the bloodline, the honor, the pride, the championships, the stakes of your stories, your family. Am I the thing drawing the ratings? With Judgment Day, their storyline and what they're going into is everything from Rhea Ripley being on top to, will the faction break up, but will they stay together for power? Who's truly in charge? So what's that personal reason that all of this is coming together? Oh yeah, R-Truth. I mean, he's the new leader.
Yeah, the new leader. Got it.
And if they stick with, you injured me, I'm coming back to get my revenge, then the story is all about elevating Santos up to the next level to be Intercontinental US champion, and then maybe start to challenge for those world titles, which is what you're telling a different story. If it's an elevating platform, that's different.
Do we have him retire Ray, or do we have Dom retire Ray? Because that's interesting. Because you make Santos...
You make Dom retire Ray.
No, yeah. If you make Santos do it, you build a star. I'm the one who retired Ray. I deserve gold. He was a GOAT. So there's that. Dom is already over.
If it's in this... To me, it's one of those like Brock beating Taker's streak meant something because Brock was already over. I think it'd be this is what I'll put it. I think it'd be very easy for him to retire Ray and it not elevate him all the way, because one, Ray will eventually come back for some little thing somewhere, but also it's clear it's a storyline choice of retirement, and it doesn't mean the same from that guy. Versus if Dom does it, like, that's father and son. That's the culmination of everything. That's big if that's the day. I think it's, I beat him solidly, I beat him soundly, I put him out of action for a few months. He comes back later at the Rumble, something like that, right? Or
took his eye
I think
out.
Santos is, yeah. He sprays him with the arrogance and they have a blindfold match because Jake Roberts can't see. He's got one white eye. That's fine after. He's got a white eye.
How
He's
long?
Got one Undertaker eye.
How long did we have Ray with the eye patch, pretending to sell the missing eyeball? Like,
I don't know. Not long enough.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I like that the way you're saying it. Yes, we have to elevate Santos, and also give something to do. Give something for Carlito to do. And the LWO people. Selena and Joaquin. But I don't know. I feel like that story had everything that it needed, and like you said, it was missing something personal. Maybe some more, vignettes of like people breaking into houses. They seem to like those. Like the what was it? Swerve breaking into Hangman's house, or we need to figure out what the fans want out of this story. We need to make it more dramatic. A little Breaking Bad in there.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. LA Knight is one. So earlier I was going to tell you, it's a very risky game that we play when, because you say you got to get over on your own without the gold. If you're not over without the gold, then you're not over. I feel like LA Knight's losing steam. It's not as hot as it was leading into that Saudi Arabia show. Mm-hmm. And I know that, giving him the gold was not the call at the time, but I just feel like they fucking fumbled it. Now he's back to now he's feuding with AJ, over what, a chair shot for costing him the match. Also, it's become a meme. What hatred caused AJ Styles to fly 30 hours to Perth just to hit LA Knight with a chair.
Brother, what hatred? The paycheck is why he flew across the country. You see how many zeros he got to get on that plane. You're like, oh, I get why he flew there. Also,
for sure.
He didn't have to throw his body at the ground. He's the one who hit someone else with a chair. If you asked me, you were like, Eddie, I'll give you 15 grand to fly across the world, hit someone with a chair and fly home. I'll be like, it's not bad. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. If anyone's hiring AJ, if you want the day off, I'll go do it next time. I'll be like, this is for AJ. Bam.
Yeah, I mean, the meme, I think, is like, talk about holding a grudge to fly 30.
Yeah.
What? There's a meme with, it's at the airport, and so he's like, yeah, one ticket to Perth, and the lady's like, that's a 30-hour flight. What's the occasion? He's like, there's somebody I'm not totally fond of over there.
In case the door is left open for too long. Just want to be there.
Just want to be there, just in case. But yeah, now you got AJ versus LA Knight, which is, frankly, I don't care, and I love both of those guys. I love AJ.
It doesn't have the steam on it. There's not. I think, as I said last time we talked, I think LA Knight is being built the right way in that this is a longer term thing. You have to keep him hot. You're developing his character. AJ is a prime match at WrestleMania in terms of these are two top level guys. LA Knight is still trying to build who he is within this company. There's a lot of people who don't know him the same way. I know that it doesn't feel like he has the same heat behind him at the moment, but I think LA Knight is a great candidate to win the next Money in the Bank, and that means he's right next to a world title at all times. I think he is. I think that's the thing. How do we keep building him, keep him relevant, keep him in everybody's mind? At Money in the Bank, he takes home that briefcase, and he's he's LA Knight with a briefcase. All of a sudden, he's the world champion by the end of the year. I think you're building something more long term, but I understand and I agree. It's not feeling the same as it was going into that Saudi show, but knowing what they're doing in both of those categories, if he was not scheduled to wrestle Rollins at WrestleMania, what else could you do to keep him relevant, keep him in the picture? Is it Randy? Because it could have been Randy too, but it looks like it might be a three-way with them, or it might be Randy, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul. Like,
I think that's the Mania. I think the Mania match is the one they kind of teased last night. I think we're getting Randy KO versus Grayson and Austin Theory.
Really? So who's Logan Paul wrestle? Logan Paul's got to be at Mania.
Yeah, they'll. I don't know. Somebody that maybe Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Give him more gold. I don't know. Give him some gold.
It's Solo against Logan Paul in a Say Can You See match. First one to sing the national anthem wins.
or we give whoever, maybe AJ and LA Knight is a feud heading into Mania, but that leads to a Mania match for gold.
There's still enough time. There's time. It seems like KO and Logan Paul are still on a collision course, but that makes me wonder where Randy is. Randy could fit in with any of those things, or he could be the guy. I also guess, you know what? It could be Logan Paul and John Cena, right? That could be what's going on.
Well, Cena announced that he wants to do something short, fun, and memorable. That was his desire for
That was my nickname in high school. Short, fun, and memorable.
That's what he wants to do at Mania. He wants to do something short, fun, and memorable.
Yeah, don't we all, motherfucker? That's what everyone wants to do.
Yeah,
that's the spot. No, I want it to be long, tedious, and forgettable. What are you talking about, John? It's the only thing people are trying to do at Mania. Brock Lesnar made a career on short, fun, and memorable.
That's true. Maybe it's not a match though. He's asking for just like a kind of maybe like a segment. You remember that year that he was just chilling in the crowd drinking beer,
and then Undertaker beat him.
Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. Get Taker to come back and beat him again. Just run it back. No, I'm kidding. Before we keep moving forward, I'm almost done, but. Going back to AJ, I saw that they moved the Good Brothers to NXT, which is cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really would like to see more AJ and the brothers doing stuff. And especially if we're going to tease Tama Tonga coming to the WWE? Like, I asked you earlier, we didn't really get an answer, but would you like to see Tama Tonga? Tama Tonga being, I don't know if you're not familiar, he's good guy, bad guy Tonga from New Japan. He was one of the original Bullet Club members. Him and his brother, or not his brother, but Tangaloa. I don't know if they're brothers. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to call them brothers. I don't know if they're brothers.
You can get co-opted into the Anawai. You and I are one step away from the Anawai family if needed.
Yeah.
So
but
I'm bald. You have a beard. We're fine. We're fine. We're in.
But there was the Gorillas of Destiny, God, with AJ and not AJ. Well, yeah, they were with AJ. But the Good Brothers and Finn Balor, those were some of the original OG Bullet Club guys. So if Tama comes over to WWE, do we want him to do Bullet Club stuff with the Good Brothers in NXT? Do we put him there? And then bring AJ in even? AJ said recently he wants to win the world title one more time before he retires. But he is also close to retiring. So we'll see how that works out. But do we throw AJ to NXT to have a storyline with Tama and the Good Brothers? Or do we get Tama in to the Bloodline? What do you think?
I think if he's coming in, that's a Bloodline entrant. I think it's great to continue to build, to really show off how powerful they are, because when you then topple them, you are talking about like Sting toppling the New World Order. Cody comes in and finally can beat this near unbeatable force. I'm going to say something that I know is going to get a lot. This could get a lot of hatred from a lot of people. I think the Bullet Club is kind of done and doesn't need to be done anymore. I think it's done. I think it's been done. I think the references to it, I think Cody kissing the guns and talking to the young buck. I think we've crested. I don't think the Bullet Club is what it was a while ago, and there's not much more to capitalize on that name or on that faction, on that thing. It's not going to mean the same. If he comes over, it doesn't resonate the same. It's not. If he comes over, you basically should start him from square one with whatever you want to do, trying to ride him in on, one time in Japan, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we were on the same team. Especially if AJ's retiring, I think we're good. I'm not as, well, I'll say it this way, so you can't get too mad. I'm not as interested in seeing that as I would be AJ winning the world title and then dropping it to LA Knight. That to me would be, you keep AJ this heel. He beats somebody, he gets the title. LA Knight says, nah, I'm coming for you, AJ. One of us is going to slip in the ring. We'll see who.
Yeah. I mean, dude, look, Bullet Club is for life. So I'm not going to.
So's NWO. So's DX. So are the Rockers. The Rockers for life.
But I don't know. Opposed to DX and the Rockers and Bullet Club has gone through entire classes of members. You know what I mean? It's one of those factions that arguably one of the biggest factions of all time. If you want to have that conversation, it could be had. That's one of the most successful factions of all time, perhaps. Bullet Club? It's everywhere. AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, Jay White. Like there have been a whole class.
D-Generation X literally writes television shows now.
I know.
Biggest faction of all time.
I know.
They're running the creative in the company. The NWO, everyone. NWO, that's for life. The Hart Foundation, even, I would say, has more clout than the Bullet Club.
I don't know. I'm a honorary member.
Club
I will not stand for this
now.
Conversation. This kind of talk, I will not accept it on my show. I would love some form. It doesn't have to be called Bullet Club. Obviously, it can't. I don't even think it can be because of New Japan legalities. But some kind of badass invasion. Taking zero shit, no silliness, beat you up, black leather, badass motherfuckers some form of that needs to exist, because we kind of had shades of that with Judgment Day, but it got silly. There was a lot of jokey here and there, and the mommy and Dom thing it's hilarious. I'm sorry, I love it, but it's hilarious. So it's more of a comedy. I need something badass. Some kind of, these dudes are no joke. Kind of, Blackpool Combat Club kind of has that vibe going to it. But WWE could use something like that. And you get the guys, you have all of the original guys. You have the Good Brothers and Finn Balor and AJ Styles, and you bring in Tama. You can create some new form of magic there. Doesn't have to be called Bullet Club, just a new faction. They take no shit. They ran Japan for years. You talk about it. They were New Japan running shit for years. They destroyed everyone, and if you get out of line, they kick you out, like they did with Finn. Like you didn't do your role properly. Guess what? You're getting beat up, and someone's taking your place. And that's what I like that story. I would love to see something like that in WWE. And you've got all the guys.
I think if they do that, they need to focus on a younger generation then, because what we saw with Judgment Day was when it centered around Edge, it was not nearly as impactful as when they turned on Edge and became the new breed, the new brood, if you will.
Yeah.
With that one, I understand, but if you're bringing somebody new in to be the new badass, and you put them with the Good Brothers to turn on AJ, and then the Good Brothers are the heaters, it feels like when who was it that had Big Show in his corner to go against Roman Reigns, right? Like it felt like this, like we're. And this is not a comment nearly on them as much as like if you want something impactful, then you got to make it its own thing here and now, which is why you do that, right? You bring him in, bring him in, you make it this one big Bullet Club, then he turns on AJ and retires AJ, so that now he sits at top. But then you have Anderson and Gallows behind you. It's cool, but it's not cutting edge cool. It's not the thing that's going to take this new guy and elevate him to the next level and make him seem like the thing you got to see. It's this thing that we've already seen, and you're now taking the place. It's not the same. Judgment Day shone. Judgment Day shone when they became their own thing, and it was Finn and Dom and Rhea and Priest doing their own thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. But there's ways to work what I'm thinking about it to elevate, let's say, even Tama. Because Tama, if you're going to treat it as it is, if you're going to start him in NXT, then you're treating him as a new star. So you have to build him. You're assuming that nobody knows who he is, and you're building him as a WWE guy. You do the story with the Good Brothers, go to NXT, take over, become the champs, run roughshod on everyone, go back to AJ and go, look, you didn't want our help? We're the fucking champs. Where are you? You know what I mean? Get him to kind of like straighten out and get back into leading the faction. They then bring in Tama and, beat him up or whatever, like kind of that beat down thing, the initiation type of thing. But they all work around building Tama up, so that he's a new star, and then he can move up to do his thing, and then he doesn't have to retire AJ, but you get Finn involved, and you get some of these people. You can build a story to help Tama become a star using that Bullet Club. Like, why wouldn't you dig into that well? There's so much there, so much history. Yeah. I feel like that could be great. I think that's all. Last thing I had on my notes, where the fuck is Jade Cargill?
She showed up on SmackDown last night. Didn't she show up on SmackDown? Yeah, she did like a backstage. I didn't look again. I had to watch on YouTube this morning. I saw her appear on a clip that was a backstage segment with somebody. Yeah, I could.
But that's the thing. It's all backstage segments. It's all her sitting in the stands. And
the weird thing about this is, since WrestleMania is already sold out, they're allowed to tell these stories up until the last minute without having to build the long-term thing of, we're coming to see, we're not showing up to see Macho Man and Hogan finally square off. We're already coming, and what are we going to see? Let's build the tension until the last minute. There are moments that it works really well, and other times where I'm like, so wait, what the hell is Randy going to do? Are Jimmy and Jay going to fight each other? Is Jade going to go one-on-one with Bianca Belair, or is it something different? Like, we are kind of left in this. It's wild to think. What's today? It's the March 2nd. What's WrestleMania? April 6 and 7. We're a month away. We only know 2 matches, and we're all kind of like, are we really getting those matches? Is it still for sure?
Yeah. Well, we got one for like questionable match, which is the tag match. We got Roman and Cody is set.
But that's what I mean. That's in quotes. Is it set? Is it really going to happen? Or is something going to happen?
The quotes, because it's on paper, it's set. You know what I mean? If something happens, that happens later. But we have there's also Drew McIntyre Rollins is announced, I believe, and Becky and Rhea is announced for sure, and then Bayley and Io Sky as well.
Yeah.
So I think the thing is that there isn't a big you could do the Bianca and Jade thing for an opener, but do you want to waste that on an opener? Do you want, because there's so much other shit going on in the card that a debuting Jade Cargill, debuting in the sense of a singles match versus Bianca Belair with no story build or very little story build, that's not going to take precedence over the two women's championships. It's not going to take precedence over the world championship or the Rock and Roman shit. So it's going to be kickoff show stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to waste Jade's debut on a kickoff show? I don't know.
Unless whatever that segment was last night is building to a one-on-one match, which we know she's going to win because it's the first match. It's a Mania feature spot on the card, and we're building towards a SummerSlam Rumble, right? She's somebody else you'd have to put in the early conversation of Royal Rumble winners next. How wild. We need to stop that. I need to stop. I'm already talking about next year's Royal Rumble winners. We are not even sure what the card for this year's WrestleMania is. I'll stop. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I apologize. I'm the one getting ahead of it.
Two last things because we're going over.
Yeah.
What's Sami Zayn's route to WrestleMania? Because that's the story with Sami right now. He's sitting around I need to get there somehow.
He's going to be the host.
He's going to
He's going to host WrestleMania.
Is this the host story? Oh my God.
I'm going to host WrestleMania.
God, that would not be good. That would not be good.
Then El Generico shows up backstage.
Okay, never mind. You got me back. I'm back in. Let's do this. And then the last thing.
Oh, he has a celebrity match. Sami Zayn goes one-on-one with Larry David.
Or he gets his rematch against Johnny Knoxville, and now that he's a credible contender for the world title, let's put him in that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Sammy, but
is it Sammy and Gunther, or is Gunther going to take on Dominic?
Man, see, that's the one we missed. Yeah, it's either Sammy and Gunther or Dom and Gunther. No.
Gunther and John Cena, and he chops him once. John lays down and gets pinned.
I hope
it was memorable. He took a chop.
You just reminded me that they kind of teased Damian Priest cashing in on Gunther, and I don't want that. Maybe, but I don't know.
This is wild. We're 4 weeks away. Today, 4 or 5 weeks from today is night one. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what Gunther's doing with his IC belt. Hopefully,
Jimmy J, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, AJ and LA Knight. We don't know. Are Finn and Damian going to defend those tag titles?
Yeah, they have to. It's Mania. I feel like they have to have Finn on a match. They'd probably do the kickoff too. We'll see. We have 4 weeks.
I love that you've booked
TV.
Everyone on the kickoff. Everyone's on the kickoff show.
Nobody's important as the Rock and Cody and the women's champions.
It's going to be a 2-hour Rock comes out promo, has a 3-minute tag match. John Cena counts to 3. He was like, that was quick.
You get the whole audience of Mania to chant ass and hole. Ass hole. Yeah. Anyway, last thing I had was not WWE related. It was just something I wanted to bring up. Sting's retiring this weekend. Supposedly retiring.
Yeah.
Final match, which will probably be at the end. No, I got one more against Ric Flair. Let's go do it. Rick and fucking Sting. But that's it's worth mentioning since he's such a icon that AEW is putting on Sting's final match, which is a tag match, and it just doesn't feel right. I don't know. I get why it's a tag match. It's Sting. He's 100, but also it shouldn't be a tag match. It should be a solo match.
If he can do a solo, you'd think. Do you think it leads to him against Darby Allin as the retirement? Something happens and it's one-on-one against them? Like they split. They have a moment. It's like,
I don't know. The fans might turn on them if they because they're selling tickets based on this. People are.
But I mean, they have the match, and at the end of it, Darby turns on Sting essentially, and the Sting it becomes another thing for another night. That's what I mean. Like,
well, that's what I mean.
If
If you're selling tickets to Sting's retirement, like Earl wants to fly out there, like that's Earl spending a flight to wherever it is, North Carolina, South Carolina, a flight, a hotel, and tickets to this pay-per-view because you want to see Sting's last match, and then they announce next month. Oh, well, Darby and Sting. Like, the fans will get pretty fucking pissed about that.
Yeah. It feels weird that it's a tag match, but I understand that because what we should then look, we're talking about somebody who was a world champion holder in the 80s, in the late 80s. This is somebody who's wrestled Ric Flair at Ric Flair's height. He's wrestled Hogan in the NWO days. He's been in every company. He's held just about every world title and fought for every world title. This is a true legend of legends, and by all accounts, an upstanding person behind the scenes who didn't do it, who didn't navigate the business dirty, who didn't stab people behind in the back.
No allegations so far.
Yeah, was a true professional as a professional wrestler by all accounts, and one of the all-time greats. That's an amazing wrestler that's ending their career and deserves all the accolades and flowers that we can give him for what he's done.
Yeah. I'll be tuning in. I'll be watching it. I mean, I watch everything. This is not like this is some kind of special event for me. I watch all of it, including now I'm watching frickin' MLW and TNA stuff too because friends are deciding to work for them, so I have to watch and support. But yeah, there's something. There's also Circle 6 this weekend, so I might actually watch the replay of Sting's retirement because the Circle 6 2-year anniversary show is this Saturday. I'm probably going to drop this tonight, but it might be too late anyway. It might be too late for people to go to the anniversary show because it is tomorrow.
Plug it now because this is going to live on the internet forever. Plug the show now.
Saturday today, there's a barroom blitz at First Street Billiards, and then tomorrow, the 2-year anniversary at the 1720 Warehouse, 5 p.m. It's also live on Triller TV, I believe it is. Triller. Yeah. Go watch my NAMM show episode that I just dropped. It took like weeks to put together because it was a nightmare, but it's out and it's funny. So go check that out on the RRBG. Follow me at RRBG Podcast. Follow this show at Outside Interference Show on Instagram. Eddie, tell them.
Friday, March 29th at 7:30 at the Hollywood Improv. We're doing No Laughing. This is your chance to come out and win $20 and a t-shirt if you can last 3 1-minute rounds of comedy without laughing. So Friday, March 29th at 7:30 p.m. at the Hollywood Improv. And then April 18th, it's a Thursday night right after my birthday, which I don't celebrate anyway, at Flappers up in Burbank. I got a big show with a bunch of my friends, kind of like a birthday celebration, great night of comedy.
I'll be there.
Still need to book everybody, but we're going to have a great show that night. So March 29th, come see No Laughing at the Hollywood Improv at 7:30.
Fuck yes. I will be there, dude, for the birthday bash. Should be fun. I'll bring you a bow tie. A new bow tie.
Look, I'm going to float this here. I'm going to regret saying this one out loud. You know what everyone's trying to convince me to do for my birthday this year? They're trying to convince me to do a roast. Everybody wants to roast me for my birthday this year.
Ooh.
I'm turning a nice round number. So they're all like, oh, we should do historical roast presents Eddie Furth. How old is he?
Oh my God, let's do it. Do it. Yeah, that's it. You put it out there. It's happening now.
All right, we'll find a venue. So we'll announce it now. April 14th or April 15th, we're going to do that show somewhere. So start to follow us on Instagram. We'll find a spot.
Hell yeah. Nice. Hell yeah. All right, brother. Let's go enjoy the rest of our Saturday. It's raining here in Los Angeles, but there's stuff to be done. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.